Hello, everyone. I'd like to say welcome or welcome back. I'm Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, and I am a retired educator who really loves OneNote and getting things done. And my job here on YouTube is just to share all of the practical ways that I use OneNote to go about living the most organized and simplified life that I can. So, today, what I'd like to talk to you about is I want to do part two of the project management notebook that I purchased from Jenuine Studios. In the previous video, which I will link up above, we covered the calendar section of that planner. Today, what I want to do is dive into all of the project management components of that planner. So if that's something that you're interested in, stay with me. Well, hi everyone. I'm Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. And today I'm coming to you with part two of Jenuine Studios OneNote Project Management Planner. Okay? All right. In the last video, we took a look at the calendar. And in today's segment, what I want to do is I want to talk about all of the project management aspects that this planner has to offer. So let's get right into it. Okay, as you can see here on my screen, I am at the dashboard or the index for this particular OneNote project management planner. Okay, it also contains an undated Monday start calendar, which we covered in the last video. This product is from Jenuine Studios, and I will have that link down in the description for you if you are interested in taking a look at what she has. I purchased this planner for myself because I wanted to give it a try. Why did I want to give it a try? Well, the main reason that I wanted to be able to do that is because I have been on the search for a planner that was already developed for me, something that I wouldn't have to do myself, but I had very specific requirements. I did not want that planner to simply be a PDF that floated in the background that I had to add text boxes or write on top of. I wanted a live, editable notebook specifically designed for OneNote that I could use as if I had created it myself, okay? And I can tell you, I've been using this planner for a week or so now, and it might meet a lot of my needs. So I hope that you will enjoy this section on the project management component of this planner as much as I have been enjoying the calendar component. And if you'd like to see more about the calendar component, there is a video that I did on how I'm going to be using it in September. I will leave that linked up above. And if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I'm going to be posting some other pictures over there of changes that I've made to the planner, ways that I've modified it, things that I've added or taken away that I think will be helpful for me. And that is one of the great things about this planner. It is 100% customizable. You want to add a background notebook? You can do that. You want ruled lines? You can do that. So it's unlimited what you can do in this particular planner. So far, I am loving it. Big thumbs up for Jenuine Studios. Okay. All right, let's take a look here at what she has in the project management planner. Okay. All right, so on this dashboard, you see here there are some main sections, and the dashboard has things about project outlines and announcement boards and directories and contact information, that kind of thing. We'll go through those pages page by page, but just to let you know, an overview, there's also a section for goals that gets broken down by month. There's a task board, which is like a Kanban board, and I think there are at least four different ways that she's done a Kanban board here. So I think that's rather interesting. Then there are project files, so project planning, files that you can look at. We'll take a look at all of those. Then there's even some brainstorm and analysis kinds of forms that we can look at. And there are some minutes templates that we might be interested in using. Now, this is set up to be very much business oriented. And what I mean by that is there are project proposals that you could create in here and send out and collect bids on. Take that information, add it into your project to analyze, which person would be best to do the job. I personally don't do projects that are that big anymore, but I know that for some of you, this might be very helpful in what you're doing for work. So I want to share it with you. Now, the goals, everybody has goals, so that's something that anybody could use. I think that's kind of interesting. And the task boards, the Kanban boards, I'm looking at those for perhaps, my video editing process. When you make a YouTube video, you have to plan it, and you have to film it, and then you have to edit it, and then you have to add music and add annotations and add graphics and all of that kind of stuff. Then you have to upload it, and you have to make sure that it's right. You have to review it once it's uploaded. On and on and on. People think a 10-minute video is something easy to do. A 10-minute video probably has 10 hours behind it to get it up and produced and looking good. So anyway, the Kanban board might be good for me for that process so that I could move that video that I'm working on along through that process. Okay? All right. Let's see. The calendar is down here listed, and then there are some blank templates that are down here listed, but we will see those as we're going through all of the sections up above, the blank templates. And then she also includes for you some sticky notes and taped paper notes, some reminder tags, and some icon stickers that you can use. And she even has a user's guide in here with some frequently asked questions and some advanced questions. And you'll see as we go through the pages, she has notes and tips on the pages for you to use as you are getting started in using her planner. Okay? All right, back up to the top. Enough chit chat. Let's get into it. Let's see what these pages look like. Okay? All right, so everything that is underlined here is a link to a particular page. All right, so I am currently on the dashboard. And the first thing that I want to look at is the project outline. So you see the project outline comes up here on your screen, and it is a very complete project outline. I think, there's a place for project name, department, team, all that stuff. A vision statement for what the project, what finished looks like for that project, who the people are on the team that are in the company, who your stakeholders might be, what the problem is that you're trying to solve, so any background information that you might have on that problem, competitor analysis that you have down there, and then the project scope and the methodology that you want to use to go about to complete that project. Here's a quick timeline and dependencies. Or showstoppers, or whatever you want to call them. And then there's a budget down here for you to look at, and any deliverables that you have can be also listed down here at the bottom. Okay, so as you can see, it is a pretty extensive project plan. Okay, now the one thing that I did notice on this particular section of the planner is there is no button to get back to the dashboard. Okay, which she has links for everything else. So I am surprised that there's not a little link up here that says to get back to the dashboard. But if you look over here on pages, you can see all of the 5 different pages that she has listed under the dashboard section. So I can navigate to those this way if you'd like. I can go back to the dashboard, and you see here she has the 5 pages listed here. So that was the project outline. Let's look at the project's index. This one I think is pretty cool. I think anybody could use this. I know as a quilter, I have a list of ongoing quilt projects that I can do, and I go ahead and add them to my list because sometimes if I put everything in a little box or in a little bag and then I put it in its plastic tub that's labeled projects to be done, I forget about them, out of sight, out of mind for me. But if I have a list of projects and I know, what would I like to work on next? I can go to that list and, see what I have. So this projects index is kind of a helpful thing too. I think I could use it even though I'm not in the business world anymore. Okay. All right, so she has a place here for project number, the name, what client you might be doing it for, date, description, who the project manager is, excuse me, the team members that are involved, and then any files, links to any files that you may need to support this particular project, okay? Now, one of the things that I said I loved about this planner is that it is customizable. All right. Let's say I don't have a client that I'm using this for. Let's say I'm using this for my quilting stuff. Okay. I might change this from client to location. Okay. I want to know, where did I store that project information? Where did I store that plastic tin or that plastic bag that has the fabric and the pattern that I want to do to make that quilt? So I could put location for that column. It is 100% customizable. You can change all of these headers. You can change the coloration. You can change all of that. Okay. And then it goes right back, because I want to keep this, pristine the way that I bought it. Okay. As I was saying, this entire planner is 100% customizable. I think that is fabulous. All right. So here are the ongoing projects that you have there. Then you have completed for 2020, whatever. You can change those to X's for 2024 if you want, however you want to set it up. And then you see a list of projects that are down here that are completed. Okay. Or sometimes you have projects that are abandoned, and that's okay too. And so there's a place down here for abandoned projects. Now you may say to me, Crystal, I don't want to take that and copy and paste and all that kind of stuff. Well, there's a little tip in her little notes over here that I will talk to you about that is really cool. And actually, this is something new that I learned today, and I'm excited to share it with you. So let's say that you have a project down here. This is project X, and project number. Let's see. Let's say this is project number 23 for the year 2023, 7. Okay, so it's the 7th project that I'm working on, and it is project X. Okay. And, I can go ahead and fill the rest of this table in with, whatever I want. But let's say that I finish that project and I want to move it down to my completed projects. Okay. All I need to do is go up here to this, grab the little gray box that's right next to it, and I can drag it down into the next table. If it was a completed task, I could put it on the bottom, or if I want to say, okay, this is the most recent completed task, I can put it here at the top. That's pretty cool. Or maybe Project X is something that didn't turn out the way we thought, and we're going to abandon it. So we're going to drag it all the way down here to the bottom to abandoned projects. All right. Just by grabbing that little handle and moving things around in tables. I didn't know you could do that, but you can. That's pretty cool. Okay, another cool thing that I learned is if you are distracted by all of these other tables being open and you simply want to see what your ongoing projects are, you can come down here to completed projects and you can double click over top of that little gray box that's there. See this little gray box right here? I'm trying to get it so you can just barely see it. There it is. If you double click on that, that closes that nested table that you had there, okay? If you then want to see that table again, simply double click, abandoned opens back up, double click, completed opens back up, okay? All right, so that's pretty cool. So 2 little tips there on using tables that were new to me, which I think is awesome. Okay. Again, no dashboard, so I'm just going to go back up here and click on the dashboard on my pages. Okay, here on the announcement board page, you see there is a quick link to the task board index and the yearly overview. Let me show you what that looks like. Here's the task board index, which we will get to in just a few minutes. That's our Kanban boards, or the yearly overview. And that is the yearly overview of the calendar, okay, which is kind of cool. We looked at that in the last video. But down here for the announcement board, you have a posting date, what the announcement was, who the target group is, and what your notes are on that particular announcement. And then also you have a place to archive those notes down here at the bottom if you would like to, okay? And the same thing, you can move that entire column down into archived if you would like, all right? So that's pretty cool. Back to the dashboard. Next on the list is the team directory, and that's so you have a list of everybody who is on that team for working on that particular project. So department or team number 1, and then she's got a space for number 2 and number 3, and their name, their position, their email, office phone, mobile phone, and their working from home hours, okay? So that you're respecting people's boundaries if they are somebody who is still working from home. All right. So this is the team directory. And then she also has an external contact directory, which is for people who are working on the project that may be outside of your organization, perhaps a consultant or contractor or something like that. Okay. All right. So that's pretty cool contact information. Love that. So all of that is under the dashboard section. Okay. Now let's take a look at goals. You know me, I love my goals. All right, here in our goals section, she has this page set up very much the same way. The templates that we might use are up here at the top, and they're very easy to get to. But then she has an example of what those goals might look like below, okay? So here she has yearly goals, and you can see here that she has a link to goal number 1, goal number 2, and goal number 3. And it's a space for you to write, much like if you've been following me for a while, I have my goals and I list them, but I list the words as the link. It doesn't matter if you use the number or the words, it doesn't matter. And in fact, if you like using the words as your link, you can add that, you can modify it that way, okay? So when you click over to yearly goals, let's just take a quick peek at what she has set up here for yearly goal number 1. Yearly goals, she has goal 1, 2, and 3 going across, a goal description, the duration, the start and end time of that goal, a 5-step action plan. But remember, because this is customizable, if I need to add another row, I can. If I need to add more space in between these, I can. It's all completely customizable, okay? Then she has resources needed and 3 milestones. And again, you can add more milestones if you need to. Then when you get down to the monthly review, so you see they have goal 1 in this column, goal 2 in this column, and goal 3 in this column. As you scroll down, you see the monthly review. Here's goal 1, goal 2, and goal 3. And then she has a section set up for each month. So in January, what was the milestone? What did we try to accomplish? Was that the kickoff meeting? Was that the, sending out the proposals? What was that for? Here are the action items that need to be done and a reflection on that. And she has that set up for every single month, okay? And if you click over here on January, it takes you specifically to the month of January's calendar so that you can see maybe you have time spread out here for that particular project. Maybe you're using, a color code or highlighted line or something like that. Okay. So she seems like she's thought of just about everything in putting together this planner. So all the way down to the bottom to December, same kind of thing. What's the milestone for this goal? What's the action plan? And what is the reflection question about? Okay. Could I use this for myself? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you followed me for any time, you know that I have about 8 or 9 goals that I like to work on at one time. I know that sounds like a lot, but I try to do 1 goal per life area. And so all I would need to do is to add columns to this and copy and paste, and I can make it as wide as I want and, just be able to keep track of everything for myself for the year all on one page. I think that's kind of awesome. I really like that a lot. Okay. And again, I do not see a navigation button to get back to the goals tab here, which I think is, something that she just may have overlooked because she has been so thorough with everything else, but that's okay. I can use my page navigation to do that as well. Okay. All right. She's also included back here a place for you to do custom goals. Maybe there's something else that you want to add down in this area that maybe is a different, part of your life, personal development or something like that. She has given you a space to create your own goals, and she even gives you tips on here for how to add links, to create those goals for yourself. Okay? All right. So wonderful, wonderful. Let's take a quick look at these goal setting templates. So she talks about SMART goals here, and if you're somebody who's been researching goal setting, you know that SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. And she has that little checkbox there and explaining what those things mean. Then there's a space for you to write your goal, start and end date, your action plan, your milestones, your progress tracker down here, and the goal has been accomplished when. And this is very GTD-esque to me. What does finish look like? How do I know when it's done? Because there are some projects that can just go on and on and on. So you need to set a goal for what done looks like. And again, she has all of these little tips here along the way, which are very helpful. So that is goal setting template for single. Then she has goal setting multiple. You see, this is where she has that example where you have goal 1, 2, and 3. And then she's added that monthly part down here at the bottom that we just looked at. But this is simply for setting up what those goals might look like. Okay? All right. And then your year setting goals template this is the one that she has with all the years listed underneath. Okay. So they kind of build on each other. Maybe you're doing a short-term goal. It's only for a month or, whatever. You don't need to track it throughout the year, but having that year-long goal setting solution, I think is kind of interesting. I like that a lot. All right. Back to the dashboard. We have looked at, the yearly goals. Let's take a look at what January's goals might look like. And again, that is, that short page, so that you're doing this just for a month. Okay, so you can see how these goal templates can be used in different ways. All right, so then she has all of the years down there for you. Now remember, this is an undated planner, so if you wanted to make a copy for 2024, you could do so, 2025, on and on. Buy it once and reuse it over and over. That's great. All right, let's move on to task boards. The task boards index, again, the relevant templates are listed right up here at the top. And she has helpful hints here on the side. But when you get down here, you see she's got a little table and she kind of explains what those these templates are up here. Okay, so I'm just going to look at this section with you. So the first one is a Kanban board that is by progress status. Okay, and that is, she has here in the notes, this template organizes tasks by progress status. Tasks can be color coded by category, whereas the priority is indicated within each task. Okay, so let's take a look at that first one, Kanban board by progress status. You see right away she has a legend with the various colors. Can they be changed? Yes. Can you change what the category is? Yes. And then she also has quick links to the various calendars here. So again, that takes you to that monthly calendar that we looked at on the other page. And then she has it down here, and this is what I think of as a traditional Kanban board. She has new tasks, and then ones that are in progress, and then ones that are completed, okay? And she's got them color-coded, so this is a UI and a UX task. The bottom one is a user testing task. Blue is for marketing, and orange, again, is user testing. But remember, we talked about being able to move those columns. So let's say, you have a traditional Kanban board in your office. It's on a bulletin board, and you have all these categories, and you might be using Post-it notes that you peel off and that you go and you stick on each place. My big fear has always been, what happens when those Post-it notes are no longer sticky? Or the cat comes along and says, that looks interesting, and starts playing with them and flicking them off. Well, if you're doing it digitally, you do not have to worry about that, because your tags aren't going to move until you are ready to do that. Okay. So let's say that Karen has been very resourceful in getting things done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to Karen's task that she's been doing. I'm going to grab it and I am going to move it over to in progress. So she's working and she's giving me a status update, and now she has told me, guess what? It is completed. So after that meeting, I can go back in here and I can now move this to completion, and I know that Karen has done everything that she needs to do for this particular task. Okay. Now you may say, what is her task? I don't remember. Well, again, you can link to just about anything in here. So here's an example of that task. All right, so here's example task, and you can put in what the task title is, the deadline, who I assigned it to, who it was reviewed by, who it was approved by, what that approval date was, all of that kind of stuff. Here's the task description. You know, maybe she's writing, or maybe she's creating a new a new product, or maybe she's, designing a new logo or something like that. What resources they might need, what the timeline is for the different milestones, any supporting files that they might need. You can link those files in this box here. Any completed files that she's done. So let's say she was working on a new logo and she puts the completed file here as a PDF or a PNG or a JPEG file, whatever it needs to be. And then there is a place for subtasks down here, things that are completed. And again, you can take any of these subtasks that are completed and you can move them over to the completed box. Okay. All right. And then there's a section down here for notes. All right. So you don't have to remember all of those tasks that Karen was working on, because you have all of that written down. Okay. All right, let's take a look at example task number 1. And you see that this is a simpler form. Okay, there's no approvals there's no approvals needed, any of that kind of thing. This is a much shorter form. And I think this is also a very good template. This would be the kind of thing that I would use because I don't need all of that detailed information. Okay. That might also be for a redundant task. Let's say you have a repetitive task that you do over and over again. You simply could create I want to say order of operations, but that's my math teacher brain thinking. You could create a list of standard operating procedures or a standard task that gets done over and over again, and simply assign that to a particular person. And then you have all the steps written down. So if that person leaves or is on vacation and you need to assign that task to somebody else, all the steps are written there for you. Okay. So again, I think that's great. She's really put a lot of thought into this. All right, let's go back to the task boards. So back here at task boards, we have a Kanban board by category. This template organizes tasks by category or task type. Tasks can be color-coded by priority when the completion status is indicated within each box. Okay, so here now we see not started, low priority, medium, and high priority. Same color coding system, but you're just using it in a different way. And then we have it by category down here. So these are all the things that have to do with marketing, user testing, UI, and UX. Okay. And let's see. Think about your own job or your own way that you do those. You do these kinds of things. Maybe you're somebody who wanted to use this as home tasks. So here are all of the, category 1 is for all of your home task items. Category 2 is for all of your work task items. Category 3 may be for all of your club or civic or church type items. Can you add more? Certainly. I could take this and I could simply make a copy of it and go right next to it and Control V to paste. And now I have another one that I can go in and modify and change and make it category 4 if I want to do that. Okay. So very, very, very customizable. I think this is fabulous. All right. Now let's look at those example tasks again. And there's the simplified version, which is wonderful. And as you guessed, the second one is the longer version, which again has lots of great details in it. I love all the details in this, okay? All right, now let's go back to the Kanban boards and let's see. Task boards. Number 3, Kanban board by priority. This template organizes tasks by priority. Tasks can be color-coded by category or task type, while the completion status is indicated within each task as a checkbox. So this one looks a little bit different too, okay? So here we have low priority, medium priority, and high priority. You can mix all of these things. Again, they're using marketing and quality assurance and user interface testing and all of that. If you're thinking at home stuff like I am, you still could do all of your categories: home, work, church, exercise, all of that stuff, and just put them under what the priority is. What is your top priority, medium priority, and low priority? Okay? And again, these boxes can be moved from one place to the other as you are working on things. All right? Okay. And let's see, number 4, Kanban board advanced. Ooh, this one's going to be fancy. This template organizes tasks by progress and category team. Each column represents a different progress status, whereas the rows represent a different category or team. Each task is a floating container which can be moved freely across the board. That sounds exciting. Let's take a look at that one. Again, she's got some information up here about how to use this and some helpful tips if you need those. The same calendar links here. And here is the template for this floating Kanban project to be moved around, okay? So what you do here is you have new tasks that are coming in, things that you're waiting on, things that are in progress, things that are completed, and things that have been approved, okay? Again, you can change these categories to whatever you want. So if I wanted to use this for my YouTube creation, I could write planning phase, I could write filming phase, editing phase, YouTube uploading and review phase, and then posting it and comments and, all that kind of stuff. I can add more columns if I need them because, again, the process for uploading to YouTube is long. But then for these, I could title this, this is my product review. This is my October plan with me. This is my yearly goals. And those videos then could be moved as I go from planning to filming, to editing, all of those kinds of things. All right. And then you can have multiple things in this area if you want to. All right. We could put that one there. That we're working on. We got something completed that feels good. And category 1, you give it your own name. Category 2, category 3. If you need more than that, you simply can click on this container. Again, make a copy of it, come down below, Control V to paste. And now you have category 4 that you could do, recolor it, all of that kind of thing. Okay? Very, very, very helpful. All right, let's look at these example tasks that she has in here. Guess what? Those are the same tasks that we've talked about. So that's that one. And example task 2 is the more detailed one. Okay? So perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, back to Kanban board. All right, and then down here they have the simple task template and the detailed task template that we've already looked at. Okay? All right. Fantastic. Project files is next. Let's take a look at those. Project files. The related template is a blank changelog. Let's take a look at what we have down here at the bottom of the screen, and then we will see that changelog. Okay? So for here, you see they have designed for us category 1 and the changelog link. For example, this is changelog 1.1. All right, very, very business-like, which I think is great. And then the document example of a file changelog, who it was created by, when it was added, and the notes. All of these are customizable. You can change all of that, okay? So let's take a look at one of those change logs. Here's the file change log. And for me, this might be that kind of thing where, you know, you're doing a project with somebody and you need to talk to them. I talked to Joe about, you know, making the changes to this particular wall. Joe got back to me and said it's going to cost $300. And I talked to my husband and he said, yeah, go ahead and do that. And, you know, then I called Joe back and approved the change and, you know, that kind of thing. So it's all of that communication contact is kind of what I think about when I look at this form. Now, I know that people are in different businesses and change logs may be very different for, you know, what you're doing. I just want to show you what she's built into this planner. And I am thinking of ways that I can use these pages for myself. Okay. All right. So there's number 1 and there's number 2. It's exactly the same file. Okay. And then when you get down here to category number 2, they're exactly the same file. You just set them up for yourself, okay? And I just think that's great. She's really done a lot of legwork. And she gives you a 3rd category down here as well, okay? Some helpful tips. And you know what? Speaking of tips, if you guys see something in here that you think is really great or you have a way that you would use it, please leave me a comment down in the comments below. I love hearing your ideas. I get some great video ideas. I get some things that I hadn't thought about before, and I learn new things from you every time I read the comments. So please feel free to share. All right, let's go back to the dashboard. Back here at the dashboard, now let's look at brainstorming and analysis. So you see there are lots of templates that she uses in brainstorming and analysis. And again, she's giving us a great chart right down here. So I'm going to read that and then we'll look at each one as we go. So for number 1 is the project proposal outline. This template outline is meant to help you structure your project proposal. So if you're sending out a bid for somebody, start at the top, vision statement, project date, stakeholders, executive summary, what the problem is, what the background is, what the competitor analysis is, the scope and methodology, the timeline, dependencies, the budget, the deliverables, the conclusion, the research sources, and the appendix. Very, very, very thorough. I think that's fabulous. Number 2, the project vision board. This template is meant to help you structure your vision statement for a new project. Okay, so here is your vision board, your vision statement, your target group, their needs, product, your business goals, your competitors, your revenue streams, your cost factors, and your channels. Again, can this be modified? Yes. All of these are editable, so you can change that to meet whatever you need for a vision board. Brainstorming with prompts. This template is meant to help you brainstorm ideas and come up with solutions to a problem. Who doesn't have problems? Maybe we all could use this, okay? All right, so here is our goal or problem. Here's our brainstorming ideas that we might come up with, 1, 2, 3. Analyze those, take a look at the solutions and next steps, and deadline allocation. Go ahead and set up those tasks, start tackling that problem. And again, she's got great tips here on how to use this page. Reverse brainstorming. This template is meant to help you identify problems and come up with solutions by reversing the problem. All right, so here we have reverse brainstorming. We want to define the problem, reverse the problem, collect ideas, reverse the ideas, and identify solutions. Interesting. Some of these things, I will be honest with you, I have never heard of before. Like this next one, I had to think really hard about what SWOT analysis was, and this is a simple one. This template is a simple SWOT: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I've never heard it called that before, but that's, again, because I am not in the business world. I'm sure for many of you, SWOT is a very common term. Analysis used to brainstorm new ideas or evaluate current projects. So let's look at that one. Interesting. So like a quadrant. So we have positive strengths and negative weaknesses, internal strengths and weaknesses, external opportunities and threats. Okay, so that's really cool. And then next steps, and again, information and examples on how to use this form. I like that. SWOT analysis detailed. This template is even more detailed SWOT analysis for the team brainstorming and evaluating process. Wow. Lots and lots of places for lots and lots of ideas, and then final solutions here at the bottom. Mind map. This template is meant to help you make a more visual approach to brainstorming. I know lots of us like to mind map about what we might need in our next planner, or what we might need, in a house that we are looking to buy, or deciding on a major or something like that. There's lots of things that you can use mind maps for. And this is kind of interesting. There's a big block in the middle for your goal or your problem, and then your topic areas around the outside, your sub areas, and your details all the way around. Okay, so if I were using this page, like I said, to plan my next planner, I could talk about the different areas of my planner that I might need, home, work, personal information, and then learning information. And then I could create, here's my recipe journal, here's my reading journal, here's my gardening journal, all those kinds of things. So I think this is pretty cool mind map. In fact, I might use that to come up with my ideas for what I want to include in my 2024 planner. There you go. All right, number 8, research outline. This template is meant to help you organize your research notes. Let's take a look at that. All right, so project title, team, contributions, date, more helpful tips, title here for general outline of articles, what the paragraph number is, what the reference text is, what the notes might be, videos or documentaries that you're using, journals, periodicals, magazines, all that kind of stuff. So great collection for resources for research. And number 9, dotted paper. This digital dotted paper may help you structure your handwritten notes or scribbles. Now, you know that OneNote comes with grid-line paper and pages that can have regular lines on them, like notebook paper or grid-line lines, but OneNote does not include dot. And a lot of people like dots. And so she's even included a dot page, which is great if you are drafting something. Let's see how big this page actually is. All right, so you can see that she does have a cutoff there, but it goes down quite far. So I think that's really great. Maybe you're somebody who would like to use this as the background for all of your pages. I don't know. Different people like different things. Then here's a performance review general. This template is a single performance review outline for yourself, your peers, and your employees. Okay? So if you are going through and keeping track of all the good things that you've done and the things that you've learned and the problems that you've had for yourself to talk to your boss about, maybe you're going to ask for a raise, or you have to do this for your normal performance review, this would be a good place to keep that information. If you are somebody who manages people and you need to keep one of these for each of the people that you supervise, that would be great as well. Okay? So you have the employee's name, the review period, the department or team that they're on, and the review date, what that person's strengths are, opportunities to improve, examples of what their strengths are, suggested next actions for those opportunities to improve. Maybe there's training you want them to take, or maybe you want them to shadow somebody, or have a weekly meeting to kind of keep them on track. Okay? All right, and then general comments, and then the reviewer's signature. So that's kind of an interesting way to do that. I can also think as a teacher, lots of ways that I would have used that form for students who were making progress or needing help in particular areas. Okay. Then there is a detailed performance review. It's more detailed with a review outline with more evaluation measures for yourself, your peers, or your employees. Okay. So again, there's lots more examples, and they're actually giving ratings on things here, on initiative, time management, communication, etc., etc. All those good qualities that we look for when we're working with people. Okay? All right, and then the last one that I have down here is post-project reflection. This template is filled out at the end of the project to reflect on what went well and what didn't. I know some companies call that a 360 review, meaning go back around and look at the whole thing. In this case, they're calling it a post-project reflection, which is fine. Again, completely editable. You can change it to whatever you want. And you see here the project date, what stages it went through, and what the reflection was. There's some reflection questions there for you, or you can add your own. And then there's an overall project analysis, the strengths, the examples of those strengths, and why we did well, opportunities to improve, examples, and why we did not do as well, and then key takeaways and your action plan now that this project is complete. Are you going to review it in 6 months? What's next? What's next? Okay. All right. So again, very thorough, very well thought out. Jen, bravo. You did a good job. Good job. Good job. All right. Back to that dashboard, we have one more section to look at, and that's meeting minutes. There's not a whole lot in meeting minutes because she has 4 templates basically, and they are listed up here. This template is used for any recurring internal meetings, i.e. weekly team meetings, checkups, etc. And so that simply is recurring minutes, internal meetings. Here's the details, what the objectives were, the project files, if there's anything to attach, date and time that it meets, who the attendees are, and whether they were present or absent, and then follow up. Here are the items, the task items. Here's the agenda and the action items that came out of that, general notes, and key dates for the future. Okay? Completely editable. Can change any of those sections to whatever you need, or delete them if you don't need them. Okay? Standard meetings over here. This is more, kind of project development. So an introductory meeting, this template is structured for introductory meetings with attendees you will be meeting with for the very first time. Okay, so here is that one. And again, it looks similar. Attendees, the goals of the meeting, follow-up, meeting notes, action items, general notes, key dates, very much the same. Okay? All right, and then they have a standard meeting. This template is for regular standard meetings. And meeting notes, general discussion, action items, and key dates. Okay? 100% customizable. Change the color, change the blocks, change the font, change anything that you want. The last one is meeting agenda. This template can be filled out and circulated to the meeting attendees so that they know what they're going to be walking into when they walk into that meeting. So again, the top blocks are the same. You can put an invitational message. Please come to this meeting. We're going to discuss the following items, and you list the following items there. And then this can be shared as an email. Okay? All right. Back to the dashboard. That covers all of this here at the top. We have already covered our calendar in the last video. Again, I'll leave a link for that. All of your blank templates that we just looked at up above, they are organized in a different way here for you. So for example, under meeting, there's meeting agenda, the last one that we just looked at. So that's a lot of templates that we've taken a look at today. But wait, there's more. Down here she has some stickers, so let's look at a couple of these just so you know what they look like. Here are some sticky notes, and they look like they are in colors that would go very nicely with this planner. And then there are some smaller sticky notes here. I'm just going to navigate with my pages because for me that's faster. Here are some other sticky notes with tape on them and lined with tape on them, gridded with tape on them. Some reminder flags, and I like that she has 3 different tones of the same color. And then she has some default tags to do important, that kind of thing in those same colors. And then she has a set of icons for all of the same colors as well. So the beige icons are there, and then there's a lighter version so they don't stand out quite so much. And then she has pink, which are the same, and there's light as well, and green, and mint and dark purple and light purple. Okay? All right. So lots and lots of stickers there to help make not only the planner more functional, of course, because the icons and the remembers and all that kind of stuff, but also add some color and it looks really nice. All right. Okay. So overall, wow. I have to say, I bought this planner for less than $20. It was a digital download. The instructions were very clear. Everything worked very smoothly. And I am just blown away by all of the thought that went into creating this planner. Now, as I discussed in the last video, she does have an Etsy shop if you'd like to look her up and see what else she has available. I know there's a student planner. I know there are dated planners for 2024 coming up. I know there are life management kinds of planners that she has. Anyway, I think she did a great job, and I'm going to be using some of these pages myself. I have enjoyed using September so far, with modifications, of course, because I am me and I can't use anything the way it is given to me. That's just part of my personality. But anyway, and I will do, at the end of September, I will do a video where I go back and show you guys some of the changes that I made to make it more functional for me. Now remember, everybody's different and everybody has to do things their own way. But the fact that this is 100% customizable and editable is absolutely fabulous. All of the legwork and thinking has been done. A lot of those links have been done. And now we can just go in and fill it out and use it and become more productive. So anyway, this video has gone on long enough. I apologize for the length of the video, but I did want to do this planner justice in presenting everything that she has created here. Well, thank you for staying on to the end. I very much appreciate it. And if you would like to learn more about what we do here at A Crystal Clear Life, please think about hitting that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it sure does help our channel. Give me a thumbs up if you liked or learned anything new in this video. Remember to leave me a comment about how you would use some of these pages in your own OneNote notebook. And here's hoping that you can live a more simplified and organized life through better planning. I use OneNote. Until next time. Okay. Bye.